Good afternoon, everyone. This is the 23rd of January. You are in the Gathering Convergence Room, home of the Heal the Earth Initiative. Today is the Keeper of the Flame Beacon. We have Grandmother Gail Thomas. Hello, Gail. Good afternoon.
Hi, Shonda. Hi, everybody. I'm happy to see all of you. Sio, Ganali, hello, friends, in my ancestral Salagi language. I will call on my ancestors. Galigia Koesque, Dancing Aaron, Dances with Death. Call me Gail. In my Yumiganai the river basin, on our sacred mountain, Adagu, which means helping many people. And we are the people who resisted both removal on the Trail of Tears and the reservation the federal government calls Cherokee. We resisted by hiding in these mountains. And they continue to protect us and keep our ways here in our homeland. And I want to share some of those teachings with you today. So let's begin by indigenizing our gathering with a song. Opening and closing with the song is a great way to return to our native ways. Get my original sound on so you can hear the drum as well. Thank you. Yeah. In our ancestral language, the song says, with peaceful serenity in this life, we are grateful as it is. It was shared with me by Diani Wahu when she came through here to the Light Center in, I guess it was the 1980s, could have been early 90s, but it's a very good sacred song. And today I want to talk about fire because we're going to be doing a very sacred fire on Sunday. So I want to talk about the teachings of fire a little bit and building relationship with fire. This is what we're doing. We're building relationship with fire. We held a fire ceremony on this sacred mountain in my fire pit that's started over 500 Anipikaga ceremonies over the last almost 20 years now, and holds a lot of sacred energy right here. So we offered tobacco to that fire when we held that last gathering. And I encourage all of you to look at your relationship with fire since that time. It was right after the winter solstice. And just think about what may have changed in your life, in your relationship with fire. And fire is, of course, one of our 4 elements. It's the one that we generally start things with. Things like sacred ceremonies and original ways. It holds the energy of purification, and that makes it a sacred place. It's like holding our feet to the fire makes us a little more sacred. Not the easy way. I think we'd all prefer to do our work and come into that sacredness head first instead of feet to the fire. But we do the best we can, and we come in how we come in, and it's just a blessing in whatever way it happens when we come into our true nature and our ancestral ways that are so much a part of us. And this is a part of connecting with our ancestors, bringing them with us to the sacred fire by speaking in our ancestral languages, the language they live in, the language that's familiar to them. And also, you don't need to worry if you don't know that language or you don't know about your ancestry, because our ancestors know us. We need to simply invite them, and only those who've done their work, to join us, to be with us in whatever way we need. And when we're working with the ancestral elements, we need to invite them according to their gifts. Okay? We wouldn't ask someone to do something for us that they were not comfortable with. Does that make sense? We wouldn't, ask someone for legal advice if they were not an attorney. We look at the energy they carry, the teachings they carry, what they relate to in their life, and what they bring to offer to us. And then we honor those gifts, those unique gifts, by asking for them. I'll give you an example. I've been honored recently with requests to teach my songs that come in the dream world, and also to share more of my dances. And that request is actually honoring my gifts and my ancestors, because as Salagi Woodlands people, we love to sing and dance. And I've been here long enough with the unity work to see that some cultures live to sit and talk. And there's quite a lot of that going on in this dominance culture that we're in today. But I am so happy to be able to create a little balance with sharing my ancestral ways of singing and dancing. So that was an example to help us understand the energies and the gifts that fire brings to us, which is different from the energies and the gifts that water, air, and earth bring to us. So when we offer tobacco to the fire, we ask fire for the gifts that is carried by the fire. And every fire pit is going to be a little different, just like every unique human being is going to carry their gift a little differently. Every lake, ocean, stream, raindrop is going to have a little different gift for us. So we try to really, really feel our connection to the energy that that element carries at that time, really being present in that moment and connecting with that element and asking that element to share its gift with us. And then using our sacred plant spirit medicine of tobacco to ask for its gifts of interpretation and tremendous power. If you don't understand the power of tobacco yet, just think about all the people who are addicted to smoking, which Grandmother Raven called abusing the tobacco. and how that power is over them. They have given away their choice when they chose to abuse that sacred plant medicine and abuse that tobacco, and now they are completely under its power. So that is the kind of power that tobacco carries. So we tap into that gift of power and interpretation. And when the plant spirit medicine burns, it releases the smoke and creates the axis mundi that connects the lower world and the higher world through this third world here on the middle realm. And it's also critical that we only work with the spirits that have done their work, because there is a dark astral plane around the earth where the disembodied spirits and a lot of the channeling and things come from, that we don't want to invite onto this middle realm. We only work with the elements of water, wind is the air, earth, and fire, which we are made of, and everything on this middle realm is made of. We want to honor those elements by working only with them on the middle realm, and then uniting the lower realm and the higher realm from this middle realm. Okay, so when you come to the fire and offer tobacco to the fire, think about the gifts that that particular fire holds. I'm not very inclined to offer with a candle. Yeah, it's fire, but it's fire from the pipeline that is doing so much harm to this middle realm. And people want to say, oh, there's beeswax and there's this candle and there's that candle. And you're still tapping into the ways of the Catholic Church, which has done incredible harm to the people of this land and continues to hold the doctrine of discovery, which says you can kill a non-Christian and take the land and the village and everything, including their life. And the church will sanction that taking. So I don't want to tap into those patterns with the candles. And there is a huge difference in the actual fire. If you don't have a pit or a container that you can burn the actual fire with small twigs and plant medicines, then go to the chaga that's growing on the trees, the polypores growing on the trees. Wherever you are, there's generally a little shelf, mushroom sitting on a tree that you can ask the tree to share with you and take it very easily into your home, and it will carry the fire. It is the ember that we use in our pipe, and it keeps the pipe burning. The herbs that we use in our sacred pipe blend, chanshasha for the chanupa, that's what we put in there with the plant medicine, because it is also plant medicine. It's incredible with balancing blood sugar and with removing metals from the body. If you just burn a tiny little part of the gold ember and sniff it, it's incredible medicine, and it's very closely related to fire. So we keep our friends close. See the way that we use the herbs that are connected with the fire, and we love to be with our close friends, and so do these elements. And this is how we share, in honoring ways that honors the gifts that these elements bring and that these plants bring, and that we as friends in community connection bring in, and that honors our community and our connection in community as well. And to sing and dance with us in the midst of all that is just everything for us. It is the original instructions that we as humans came in with, and it's what we came here to share. It's why we came here. It's what we came here for. So every opportunity we have to step into that energy and to honor each of these elements, I hope that we can offer tobacco to the water a little later in the spring when this spring and stream is running here, and maybe some of you can have the water close to you and join in that Zoom gathering and share the different energies of the water around you, and offer tobacco and use our original lobelia, our native tobacco that was on Turtle Island first before the Taino Caribbean blends, which are much stronger and a much different plant, were brought onto this mountain in our homeland. And there may be other sacred tobacco medicines, native plant medicines that were used that you can find that are native to wherever you are. And you can offer those to these elements as we come into community gatherings in this way. In our and let me just, as I tell you the story of fire coming to the people, you can spot different ways of honoring the gifts that fire brings, and we can talk a little bit about them in just a few minutes. Fire came with lightning. Lightning is our strongest medicine. It comes to the trees, the tall standing ones, and the medicine we use is the tree that survives the lightning strike. It's very powerful. I have a turbo engineering friend that was with GE for years, and he's looking at sustainable ways. He's retired now, and he's trying to find more sustainable ways to generate what we call electricity, which is a result of fire here on our planet. And he says that there is enough energy in the lightning bolts to power anything that we can imagine, but it cannot be contained, or they have not yet discovered the way to contain that energy. So fire came with lightning, and the people saw it and realized how helpful it could be, and asked if someone could gather an ember from the tree. And so it was the sycamore tree that holds our fire, and it stands by the water. Fire is masculine, water is feminine. They stand together, and we stand in that energy when we honor them together in these ways. So the crow was white then, and it tried to bring the fire over with the chaga ember, and now it's black. Didn't quite make it. The snake was sure it could shimmy up that tree. Our little black racer snake was white, and now it's black, and it didn't quite make it. And a lot of different animals, and winged ones, the finned ones, all tried to help, and they got scorched. And the little water spider was sitting there the whole time watching all of this, and it said, okay, well, I have my basket on my back. I always have my basket. So I'll just take my basket and put the ember in my basket and bring it back across the water so you people can have some fire. And that's what it did. It just went right over there and got the perfect size ember to fit in the perfect size basket that it carried, and brought it back to the people. And the Salagi people took it into the mound, took it into the earth, deep into the earth, and brought basket by basket of earth to build the mound around that sacred fire, so that it is open in the middle. And that's the fire that starts our fall ceremony when we build our first fire for the hearth. We do that when the goldenrod is in bloom, because it connects us to the eternal flame, the energy of the eternal flame. When that plant is in full flower and abundance, we share from abundance. There is so much abundance in that plant. The goldenrod is our tea for healing our kidneys. And it was the only tea here when we were colonized with what we call tea now. It was called Blue Mountain tea because our ridges, the Blue Ridge Mountain, our ridges and our trees actually emit a chemical that makes them look blue. And our medicine clan that my father and my grandmother who raised me came from is the Blue Clan. So blue is the only color that's not a pigment, it's a refraction of light. So do you feel the expansiveness as I go through these gifts that all of these different things bring, and the way they come together in community and support and honor each other in community, and more comes together to help us humans learn to be human. So in our connection ceremony to the eternal flame in the fall, we tender our fire with that dried goldenrod plant after we've gathered what we need and dried it also to get us through the winter with our teas. We let it dry on the plant because it also feeds the birds. And we bring together the 7 council fires, and we start the fire with the chaga ember lighting the goldenrod. So that is our connection to the eternal flame. And from there, of course, we sing and dance in circles. We return the world to circles, like one of the dreams tells us about, when it brought us the dream song, return the world to circles. So I encourage you to build your relationship with all of these things that I've shared with you today by actively, remember, we're verb-based people, so pick them up, honor them, hold them in your hand, make your tea if that's what you choose to, or just put the fire with them and release their spirit in the smoke and sniff it. Just a real quick sniff of that smoke is spirit to spirit sharing. When we take it in through our nose, it goes right into our blood, into our brain, into our nervous system, our neurological system. That is the wiring of our body. And that is the best way for the plant medicine to heal us, and for the fire and the smoke to create that connection from the lower world where our power animals sit and help us, and then into the higher realms where our teachers sit and connect with us here on the middle realm. So that's, I guess, enough information for us to get started with questions. We have maybe 10 more minutes where we can ask questions if you guys would like to. I'll open the floor for that right now and encourage you to ask questions about your relationship with fire. Since we did that tobacco offering right after the winter solstice, what has changed for you in your relationship with fire? What is purified? What is sacred turned into sacred space? What is just new? Whatever you can think of to
Yeah,
share with
I'm
us
gonna
as well.
go ahead and take us back to gathering view really quick here. And I'll pick up the feather to begin here. That was an amazing, I mean, we put a lot of work into the organization of that fire, the tobacco offering. And look where we are. I truly honor that fire for opening the energy of where we are now with these sacred fire ceremonies. And I know we don't use that word, but it seems right because, what we're heading into, offering ceremonies, but sacred space with this fire every week. I truly believe that energy was launched by that tobacco offering. And I mean, that was that fire was amazing. There was so much energy around that fire. And I'll put the feather back in. Anyone else have comments you want to share?
Thank you, Shonda. That is it. Yeah, that's how it works. Sorry, somebody's trying to get the dance room open.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and last chance for any comments. Shannon, did you have anything, or Lynn, or Keith?
Yes.
One?
I just wanted to say thank you so much to Gail for leading us in this way. Our elders are our elders. And thank you for stepping into a place in my life where there is no one. I have never had an elder with traditional knowledge. Being a daughter of immigrants, I will not identify them as colonists because they came as, refugees and whatnot from their families and their places, and they came in honor and in hopes of creating a better world. And I think they found it here, and it was largely due to the indigenous people of the land here. And thank you so much for showing us traditional ways so that we can infuse our love with our lives with more love and with more fire. The the lighting of the fire has created in my life a feeling of creation, and leading me into what wants to happen. And I've also found that you have to be careful with fire because if you kind of step on it, you get burned. And so I'm very aware that you have to be conscious with the powers that you choose to wield. And I'm grateful for them. And thank you so, so much, Gail.
Thank you, Shannon. That's a good point. Yes, we do want to be totally present when we are with fire. Yeah, any other questions?
Yes. Are you wanting to go, Freebird? You? No. Sorry. Yes, I still remember that sacred space that I found myself in when I lit the fire. And it's still with me, and it's quite life-changing. And I think it was very powerful also because it took me back not only to almost thousands of years of that lovely energy that was here then in nature, but also the flame that that lights our heart, and the flame that first gave us this amazing planet. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful to you, Gail, for all that I've learnt from you so far. Thank you.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you, Lynn. Excellent points. Yeah, Freebird.
Well, I just want to pick up the feather and say thank you. Thank you so much. Just listening to you now, I, I've always had this, uh, like I don't even have the words for it, this passion with the sycamore tree. And the sycamore tree was the first tree that I really super connected with. And then came the cedar and the willow and a couple of others. However, I never really understood why I have this passion around the sycamore tree. And I have Cherokee roots. I also have African American roots, and I have um, I'm a mutt, so I've never really um, gone into one specific tradition. I pull from many because I'm a mutt, and listening to you today just really kind of, wow, now I understand that's part of that Cherokee root. I know you don't call yourselves Cherokee, so please forgive me. Um, but so I really look forward to learning much, much more in that arena of the Native um, Indigenous culture, that part of my heritage. So thank you.
Mhm.
Makes a lot more sense to me now. And I love how spirit works in these mysterious ways. And I'll place the feather back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Freebird. It does work that way. It's the mystery that means the most, actually brings us meaning and purpose in our life. And I also carry DNA from all four of the races. I was raised, in traditional Salagi ways as much as that was possible when it was illegal and we were forced to assimilate. But we held on, and really, I mean, the 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 ancestral ways are simply the original instructions that this wave of humans came in with. We all have ancestors in this wave of humans. Obviously, we're here. So this is the original instructions for all of us. We were able to hold on to them. The Lakota people were able to hold on to the Anipikaga traditional, sacred symbolism, which is the same language our soul speaks, symbol and image, from the beginning. So I encourage all of you just to return to those original instructions that we have been holding and keeping. And, whatever's evolved in other cultures was necessary, I'm sure, in some other way, like we have the prophecy on the teachings of the four races. That's what you guys were doing. If you're, whatever, you were doing protection for your teachings and life based on the teachings that you were holding and the direction that your people were in. And we just need to come back together around the original instructions and the four elements, back to earth. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Keith, did you have anything you wanted to say before we sing our
Yeah, I just wanted to
gratitude?
thank you for your teachings, hon, and
Yeah.
everybody here for holding space. And yeah, the fire for me, it was a healing experience. It opened me up to my ancestors and my family, and yeah, it was quite incredible. It's kept me a connection now that I'm just waiting for the next day and what's going on next. It's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Great. I love hearing that, Keith. Thank you all so much.
Much love. Much
Yeah.
love to everyone. So we are going to close our recording, and as tradition in the
Yeah.
gathering, every
Well, can
time
I
we
sing
stop
us?
our I'm sorry, are you
Yes,
gonna
Sing
sing
please.
us out?
gratitude.
Please. Please, baby, go
Okay, I'll
ahead.
sing real quick gratitude. Join me. Tunkashalai, Unshimalaye, Itak Unshimaka, Niwachoni, Tidamayaye, ancestors, grandmothers, please share compassion. All my relations, grandmother, what life means for Thank you, Shonda.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, so
No.
as tradition in the gathering, when
No.
we close our recordings, we say thank you to the energy in the room. Thank you, grandmother.
Thank you, Gil.